Thank you for joining me again today. We're reading from the Lakota Way, Stories and Lessons for Living, Native American Wisdom on Ethics and Character by Joseph N. Marshall III. Today's lesson is on generosity. Sometimes it's easy to forget that we live in a place, this world, where so many other things live too. As two-legged humans, we believe that we are the most powerful beings to walk the earth. We don't seem to understand that the power that comes from being numerous is not the same as the power that comes from being wise or kind. If Lakota societal values seem to discourage the accumulation of material possessions, it was also true that generosity was encouraged and exemplified. Paraphrasing an ancient sentiment helps us understand why generosity is necessary. The Earth Mother gives us all that she has. We must do the same. Generosity, therefore, is a timeless virtue that lives in the heart. Generosity should not be limited to humans, however. All living things are related because we are all children of the earth, and everything we do affects the earth and everything on it, including the human race. The more water we pollute, the less there is for us to drink. The more land we contaminate, the less we have to grow crops. The more forest we cut down, the less oxygen there is for us to breathe. We humans have made the earth needy by our greed and selfishness, both rooted in that idea that the earth was created for us. Nothing could be further from the truth. We are of the earth. The earth has promised to care for us and provide for us no matter who or what we are. We must understand that we are stewards of the land, and as such, we have a sacred responsibility to our relatives to seriously and thoughtfully live up to it. This responsibility is to the present generation as well as those yet to come. As a species, we humans have come far because of the generosity of the earth. She has given us a home as well as the means to raise ourselves to lofty heights, if only in our minds. It is far past the time we repay her with our generosity. We Lakota believe that there are many roads in life, but there are two that are most important, the red road and the black road. They represent the two perspectives to every situation, the two sides of every person, the two choices we frequently face in life. The red road is the good way, the good side, and the right choice. It is a narrow road, fraught with dangers and obstacles, and is extremely difficult to travel. The black road is the bad way, the bad side, the wrong choice. It is wide and very easy to travel. The red road and the black road appear in many of our stories, not as roads, but as the personifications of right and wrong, good and bad, light and dark. Generosity has its rewards. The lack of it has consequences. In the past, the accumulation of material goods among the Lakota was not unknown, but it wasn't done in the pursuit of wealth. It was done as a hedge against hard times and to help anyone who ran short. Still, it wasn't practical for a nomadic people to accumulate too much because it only meant more to haul when the camp was moved, which was at least 2 or 3 times a year. The more you owned, the more you had to haul. A certain man had many possessions because he was reluctant to part with anything he owned. His dwelling was filled with all manner of things that he had, and he had a large herd of horses to carry it each time the village moved. Though he had all those fine things, he had no friends, and he was getting old and didn't want to spend his last days alone. He sensed that his time was drawing near, and he wanted the people to think and speak well of him after he died. So he spoke to the wisest old woman in the village. "What is the answer?" he asked. "I do not want to spend my last days alone." "Be generous," the woman replied. The old man pondered the woman's advice and then sent the camp crier among the people to announce that he would make a feast and that everyone was invited. The day of the feast came and the people gathered. True to his word, the old man fed all of the people. Then he gave away all of his possessions, all of his horses, and even his lodge. He left himself with only the clothes he wore. no lodge to sleep in, and no horse to ride. But that night he was invited to sleep in someone's lodge, and the next night in another lodge. And so it was until the old man died. He had no possessions, but he had many friends, and it was spoken of him that he was a generous man. Thank you for coming to another story time with Auntie A. Have a great day.